Hey, isn't this a beautiful skyline today? I'll tell you what, the sea, the ocean is so calm and it's absolutely beautiful. That's Koh Larn Island out there in the middle in the Gulf of Thailand. So I'm on the 8th floor. The pool's actually on the 4th floor. It has a shade that covers half of it basically. But anyway, we have a great facility, there's no doubt about it. I wanted to talk to you again about the basic values that are available here. We were just talking about finding a place to stay here in Thailand. And there's all kinds of values, but a lot of people, when they're thinking about coming to Thailand, and in the short term, they see these great big, beautiful, brand new condominiums. And I love them too. Absolutely beautiful. They have all the latest features and everything. And that's the way this building or that building was back in their day. But eventually, after a few years, a new building pops up, and that's where everybody wants to be. What made these buildings like Park Beach behind me, or the building I live in, Wagamot Garden Beach, so special? Well, there was a lot of things, you know. They had all the glamour and glitz at one time, but of course, over time, that glamour and glitz kind of started to fade somewhat. It's still being maintained, but is it still at the same level as, let's say, the newest buildings like the Aram over there, or the Riviera that's down the street, or even the Palm, which is down the street over here? So, is it the same level? Well, probably not. But what does a building like Park Beach or my building have that may be something that you want to look at? All right, so we're going to talk about that. So the very first thing that I can tell you is the price. And everybody will ask that, well, what are we talking about prices? Well, a standard new building that's going up, I can tell you right now, you're looking at somewhere below 30 square meters for the room. And it's probably going to be 4.5 million Thai baht. In a building like this here, generally speaking, the rooms are going to be much bigger. Their smallest rooms will be much bigger. And this building behind me, the smallest rooms are studios, and they're 55 square meters. That's almost double what a lot of the new condo are building as their smallest rooms. Can you get a small room over here for below the cost of a brand new building? Yes, absolutely. I think over here you can find rooms for 3.5 million baht. What's that, about $100,000? In a building like mine, because I'm across the street. Am I oceanfront? Well, that's debatable upon who the owner is and who's trying to sell you the condo. But to me, the building behind me is oceanfront. I have to cross the road. Am I oceanfront? Sure. I'm pretty close, 80 meters away. If you have to cross a road, are you really oceanfront? Well, I'm going to let you decide. I know that's a big selling point for a lot of places, especially in Chom Tien, where you have to cross a road, a busy road, for all the properties over there. But are they oceanfront? Well, they're as oceanfront as you can get, because there's not going to be any condos in front of them or anything like that, even though they do have to cross a road. There's differences between this building and, say, another. So here's a perfect example. This is the Archon building, and that's a building that's maybe 100 meters behind me. It has basically about the same view as I do, but it's in bad repair. And as you can see, the face of the building is starting to crumble, and they're not really doing anything to take care of it. This property has a beautiful garden pool, which you can just see the pool to the left of the building, but the outside of the building is nothing compared to this building. That's another type of building that's available, but I can tell you right now, you can get a room in there very, very cheap. If the building appearance doesn't mean anything to you, well, you can find a great value for a building like that. You can see in my building, they're actually painting the inside corridors and things like that right now. Yeah, there's values to be had out here, and it kind of depends on what you're looking for. But I'll tell you a couple things you need to definitely look at when you're considering an older building. You need that first impression. What does the building look like when you first go look at it? That says a lot in itself. If you walk into a place and think to yourself, can I live here? Or you're thinking, when I first went into this building, I thought to myself, I can definitely live here. Is the vegetation being groomed and taken care of and watered and things like that? Look at the pool. Is it full of leaves, or does it look like it hasn't been cleaned in days, or is it crystal clear? Really take care of it. My building, they clean 5 times a week. Make sure before you have anything to do with an older building is that they have an established sinking fund. Do you know what a sinking fund is? Well, a sinking fund, an amount of money that is set aside for a catastrophic incident that may happen to this building. Let's say an elevator goes out, for instance, or something like that. Does that need to be fixed right away, or can that wait a year or two until we get the money together? No, that is a catastrophic event, and it needs to be fixed today, okay? And you need to already have the money on hand to be able to fix things like that. It's like having a leak in the pool or something like that. It needs to be fixed today. There's guys that want to swim in it tomorrow. And there's other things that you need to have money available. If the sinking fund's been depleted and it hasn't been replaced, I would run. Don't even consider that property. And of course, the thing to remember is that a building doesn't do things by itself. You need a full-time staff on duty. You need security. I've already talked about my matrix before. When you're looking at a condo, you have to follow that matrix. And I'll put a small sample of that in this video for you to take a look at. But security on hand, some type of cleaning staff, a building manager, juristic office, that type of thing you definitely need. You need an active committee taking care of and have an interest in this building that it's going to only get better. And you want all the other amenities such as a fitness center. You want to have a minimum of 3 elevators, things like that. You want your property to be as good as all the new properties, but cost a little bit less. All right, so I'm done with that section there, but we're going to move into a tourist lifestyle. I just recently did a video about our prices changing in Thailand, and especially here in Pattaya. And what an area that I definitely want to cover. We had a lot of comments about it and everything, and I love the comments, so you definitely should be speaking your mind. But what I'm looking at is a tourist lifestyle versus an expat. What's the difference? Let me tell you, you get a lot of tourists that come in here, and there's all kinds of different tourists. But a typical single man coming to Pattaya is coming here for the nightlife, right? He may show up, and maybe he's here for a month or maybe just 2 weeks, or whatever the circumstances are, and he comes in here as a let's say a 2-week millionaire or a 1-month millionaire. He's making the money rain and just having a ball. He's coming in with a wad of cash, and he wants to spend it. And I understand that. And I'll tell you what, I was the same way. It took me years. I was addicted. I've talked about this before in other videos, but I was addicted. And I used to go out every night. But it took me a while, once I finally moved here, to figure out that life was not sustainable. That eventually I wouldn't be able to afford to live that lifestyle if I was going to stay here permanently. And that's what I wanted to do. And there was a reason why I wanted to be here permanently, which we've went over in many videos before. But is I wanted to be here. I wanted to be living the lifestyle that I'm living right now. As I soon found out, if I wanted to be an expat, if I wanted to be a viable expat here in Pattaya, Thailand, that I couldn't act like a tourist. If I participated in tourist activities, it wasn't going to work out. You know how to become a millionaire in Pattaya, Thailand? It's to bring $2 million here. To live a sustainable lifestyle, I needed to learn how to live within my budget. Can you imagine if I wanted to stay away from the nightlife? I didn't want to drink alcohol and I wasn't interested in any companionship. How much money do you think you'd really spend here compared to a guy that was doing all of the things I mentioned before? So participating in the nightlife, drinking alcohol, and looking for companionship, it adds to your budget considerably. If you didn't want to do those things, why come to Pattaya? People ask that all the time. I mean, there's lots of things to do here in Pattaya. Is the nightlife, the drinking, and the companionship the only thing to do here? No. I mean, if you're a sports fanatic, there's all kinds of sports. Everything from golf, polo, lawn bowling, rugby, football clubs, water activities, boating, island hopping. You can go on road trips. There's hiking. There's ATV riding, and the list just keeps going on. Badminton. There's tennis. There's pickleball, beach volleyball. All right. There's all kinds of things that you can do here that doesn't involve going out every night. All right. There's expat clubs. There's fraternal organizations, and the list just keeps going on and on and on. And it's very easy to keep yourself busy. The last thing you want to do is come here and get bored with what you're doing. Hey, I want to put a shout out to Ray. I appreciate the coffee. Thank you very much, most generous of you. And another shout out to JB Value. Am I saying that right? JB Value. Thank you very much for the drink. I definitely appreciate it. If anybody's interested and buying me a cup of coffee or buying me a drink, you can look at the description below. There's a link in there that'll tell you how to do it. All right, let's press on. Going past survival in Thailand versus thriving. Not everybody comes to Pattaya for the same thing that maybe you do. So I get a lot of questions or comments talking about, when we talk about Warren, for instance. I had a guy comment just recently this morning about Warren basically says that Warren's just surviving, and the thing is some people would look at it that way, but Warren doesn't. You know, Warren is active in doing the things that he wants to do for an 80-year-old guy. Okay, you know, literally goes down the beach every day. That's what he loves. He loves the beach life. He is a true beach hippie. I wish I could post a picture of him just so you could see with his long white hair, and he never wears a shirt. Okay, I mean, the guy, he's in good shape for his age and everything, and yeah, he wears a pair of, well, they're kind of fitness shorts, I think. And he always has tennis shoes or flip-flops on, but I can't remember ever seeing him in a shirt, even when I went up and visited him in his condo, which is halfway nice. The guy has money. You know, I used to laugh. I had a great aunt of mine that lived in St. Louis, and she would cook a can of beans on one of these metal radiators that she had in her home. And I think she used that radiator all the time. She was very thin, older Italian woman, and anyway, it seemed like she was cold all the time, and she would cook these beans. And when she ended up passing away, it turned out that she was worth a small fortune. She just happened to live on a pauper's budget. Anyway, some people are that way. I'm not saying that Warren is that way, but I know he has money, you know, and he told me just recently, I talked about it, that he was able to save over 1 million baht. Now, I know that's only $30,000 or so, but that's still pretty good. And I know a lot of other people here that don't have 1 million baht in the bank. So those are things to think about, that not everybody that comes to Pattaya, Thailand, are coming here for the same reasons that maybe you are. And the idea that going out every night, well, maybe that's not for everybody. I can remember looking at the Pattaya sign, but I can remember looking at the Pattaya sign in the distance there, in the evenings and thinking to myself, what am I doing here? Why am I not out enjoying the nightlife, enjoying everything that Pattaya has to offer? And I know that has to be a horrible situation for a lot of people, or what they feel like is a horrible situation. Eventually, I had to self-evaluate and learn a little bit of self-control. I still go out there every now and then, and it's usually because one of you guys come into town and want to go out and do something, and I'm open for that. Definitely open for that. So if you do come into town, let me know. It's fun. I get it. But I learned I can't do it every night. I don't know, when I was younger, I could do it. And when I was still working, it was a different story. But now I'm retired, I'm living on a budget. I try to maintain my budget, and I'm using Warren as kind of a mentor. Of course, I could never live on the budget that he lives on, but I'm using it as a mentor to be able to save a little bit of money. Before, I spent every dollar that I had when I was living here. At the end of the month, it was 100,000 baht that was just gone. And I was thinking to myself, that's a lot of money over several years. And I was thinking to myself, could I end up saving some of that? And I changed my life and my budget considerably, and we'll go over that again some other time. But those are the type things that you really have to think about. The last thing I want to mention, and this goes back to condos, if you're thinking about condos in general, I don't recommend anybody coming here and buying a condo, especially as an investment. I think personally you need to be in this area several years. You want to make sure that you know that this is the place that you want to be, okay? Maybe the place that you want to live for the rest of your life, or things like that. And if you decide to buy a condo, I really recommend that it follows a couple guidelines. You're absolutely in love with the area and the building that you're in, okay? You have to look at the money that you're going to spend on it. Is it something that you're going to use at any other time for your retirement? And you have to know that there's a good chance, because there's so many condominiums available here, and this is definitely a rental market, that there's a good chance that even though you bought into a brand new building and they're talking about the values went up 30% in the first year or two, that within 10 years maybe the value of that condominium is going to be less than what you paid for it. And that happens often. And I have a friend of mine that lives in this building right behind me, is Wagamot Towers, and he has several condos over there. And I know that for a fact, he spent on one of them, the condos that he lives in, he spent 8.8 million baht, and right now it's listed for 6 million baht. So a lot of condos do not go up in value. A lot of condos go down in value, and you can still find some great deals. There's no doubt about it. But you definitely want to look around. You don't ever want to buy, I would suggest buying a condo here if it's on, let's say, a fire sale or something like that. Somebody really needs the money, and they're willing to deal with you. You're able to talk them down in price. But understanding that the money that you spent on it, you may not be able to get it back. A lot of times condos are very hard to sell. People go years trying to sell condos, dropping the prices. People, of course, nobody's willing to give you what you want for it. And everybody wants the best deal possible. They don't care about whether you're going to lose money or not. There's a lot of people here that would almost give away their condos just for you to take over their payments. All right. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a great day. If you're around this area, you should definitely go down and check out the beach. I'm sure it's a great day to be on the beach. All right. Well, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Great. And it was even more blue this morning. I don't know why I didn't do a video for you, but anyway, that's my own fault.